All right, first thing before you start your oil change is always make sure that you can take your oil cap off the filler neck, because if you drain all the oil and you can't get this open, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. All right, so underneath the car in the front is accessible without jacking up the vehicle is the 17 millimeter drain plug for the oil pan and your engine oil filter. So hopefully they're not too snug on there, but I'm gonna get underneath here with my 17 mil ratchet and try and break this loose. Very easy. So we can then get this to come out, screw that out. Try not to lose the plug. Let's see. Now we'll go for the oil filter, which just turned nicely this time. This one is going to get a little more messy. That's why I wear the glove. These vertical filters just start dumping everywhere. Oil's still warm from the car being driven over here, but not too hot, and it had a little bit of time to let the car sit and the oil drop to the bottom of the pan. So we'll just let that drain for a little bit and get back to it when it's got barely any drips. All right, so you always want to inspect the oil drain pan plug, make sure that there's no metal shards on the magnet part of the tip here, because there'd be some grinding and internal engine issues. This one is nice and clean. So we'll just wipe this off, get it ready for its crush with a new crush washer, and it'll be ready to install. All right, you always want to pre-fill your oil filter. This oil filter we got at Napa, 27712. It's $4.50. It was just the cheapest option. The next option up was like $8, but you don't need a premium filter for your oils if you change it often. So the first thing you want to do is fill your oil filter, because when you put it back in, you want to make sure that it is nice and lubricated so the engine doesn't have to suck through a dry filter when it first starts up. At this time, this is when you want to lubricate the seal. This is going to make a nice vacuum suction when the car starts driving, so you want to make sure that the seal has some fresh oil on it. Now that my oil filter is filled with oil, I'm going to put the new crush washer onto the drain plug. Always make sure you replace this. It's sometimes annoying to forget when you have to run back to the hardware store, but you definitely want a new one of these every time you put your drain plug back in from an oil change. I'm going to clean off the surface of the oil filter housing here. And then using my filled filter, screw this back on into place. Make sure the threads go on nice and easy. You shouldn't be forcing it. Screws right on, up and away, and then just give it until it's hand tight. That's it. The car will do the rest. Now, so we got a little bit of drip in there, but that's not bad. So we're gonna just kind of wipe that down a little bit, and then get the new crush washer drain plug on here. I like to get it threaded. Do not force this. Give it a little bit of a wipe now that it's kind of sealed in place. All right, finger tight. Come in with the 17 millimeter. Okay, so tighten it. There's all the way snug, and then just give it a tiny bit more. That's it. All right, guys, so this Subaru Forester needs 4.2 quarts to be filled. We already used a little bit into the oil filter, so we're sitting at about 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So I'm going to do, I'm not going to quite finish off the bottle. I'm going to leave a little bit left at the bottom, and you can just start filling. So it's helpful to have a funnel. Makes it less messy. Just start really slow. Don't overfill the funnel. All right. Helpful to have a rag for this. Inspect your cap, make sure your seal is good. We're all set there. Screw that baby right back in. Now you're going to want to run your vehicle for a few minutes, shut it off, let the oil drain and get cool. And then you're going to use your dipstick to check your level. And that is when your oil is completely cool. You shouldn't check your oil with a hot engine. All right, guys, now that we've let the engine cool down and the car's on a level space, let's take a look at the oil level. So you're always going to pull the dipstick out and clean off the first time. And then we're looking to see where the oil is going to come in between the E and the F, these two lines. You want it to be towards the full line there, but not over. So we're going to put the dipstick all the way in, bring it out, and take a look. So we're a little bit above the full line, but that's okay. The oil is nice and clean, so we're ready to go for another 3,000 miles. It was full synthetic, so you could go much longer, but I like to change my oil religiously at 3, even if it says 10,000 miles or more. So there you go. That's how you check your oil after you've done your oil change on a 2001 Subaru Forester.